All right, so today we're diving deep. We're going to deconstruct a blueprint for building something huge in the Web3 space. This whole thing comes from a mentor figure known as Uncle Hu, and it's all built around a system called Oxcash NFT Pro. So if you've ever looked at this world and wondered, how do I go from just a user to someone who actually builds an empire? Well, this is for you.
And it all kicks off with this one simple question, but it's a big one. You really have to ask yourself this right now. In this whole new Web3 world, who do you actually want to be? Because your answer to that, it's going to define everything that comes next.
You see, according to this philosophy, you've basically got three roles you can play. First, you've got the speculator. This is the person who's all about the price, buying low, selling high. Simple enough. Then you've got the team builder, who's focused on bringing people in, creating groups. But the real top tier, that's the system builder. This is the person who's not just playing the game, they're building the entire economy. That's the biggest vision, and that's what we're going to focus on.
Okay, so if you're gonna build, you have to know your materials, right? You can't build a skyscraper with toothpicks. For us, that foundation, the bedrock of this entire system, is decentralized technology.
So what is Oxcash NFT Pro really? Well, at its core, it's defined as a completely decentralized platform. And the key phrase there is owned by the members. This isn't about a central company calling the shots. The whole idea is that it runs itself, automatically, right on the blockchain.
So how does it actually pull that off? Well, it's not magic, it's tech. It runs on the Polygon Blockchain. It's governed by smart contracts, which, are just automated rules that are baked into the code and can't be changed by anyone. This gives you true NFT ownership right in your own wallet. All the transactions are peer-to-peer, meaning they go directly from me to you. And maybe the most important part, there's no central admin who can just wake up one day and decide to shut the whole thing down.
Think of it like a formula, or even a recipe. You take the unbreakable rules of a smart contract, you add in true NFT ownership, you mix in a growing community network, and you top it off with a system for automatic reinvestment. And what do you get? According to this blueprint, you get a decentralized income system.
All right, so the tech foundation is solid. The engine is built. But a powerful engine is pretty useless if you don't have a map and know how to drive, right? So next up are the 5 strategic pillars. The equation that makes this thing not just run, but actually succeed. And this is where Uncle Hu drops some real wisdom. He says a project's fate, whether it succeeds or fails, has nothing to do with the coin price. It all depends on its systems equation. He says there are 5 critical variables you have to get right. It all starts with the narrative. This is the big idea, the story people can grab onto and believe in. I mean, think about Bitcoin's narrative, money without banks. It's simple, it's powerful, and it captures the imagination. You have to have that story. But, a great story is just talk, if the machine doesn't actually work. That's pillar 2, the system. You need a real mechanism that functions, one that brings new people in, and, just as importantly, gives the people who are already there a reason to stick around. If the system breaks, the story dies with it.
Powering that whole system is the community engine, and this one is huge. Honestly, it's everything. Without an active, passionate community, what is a digital asset? It's just a number on a screen. The people, they are the ones who give it life and value.
So you've got this amazing community. How do you reward them and create real, sustainable value? That's the token economy. You can't just hand out tokens forever like candy. A token needs a purpose, a real utility. There has to be demand for it and some kind of scarcity. If you miss that, its value is just going to go to zero. It's inevitable.
And finally, the 5th pillar, and this one might be the most overlooked, the leadership network. The blueprint here makes a really bold claim. The true power of a network isn't measured by how many members it has. It's measured by how many leaders it has. They are the real engine.
So here's why each of those pillars is so critical. It's not an addition formula, it's multiplication. Narrative times system times community, and so on. And what does that mean? It means if even one of those variables is 0, if you have no community or a broken system or 0 leaders, the entire value of your network collapses. Boom, it's 0. Every single link in that chain has to be strong. We've talked about the what, the tech. We've talked about the why, the strategy, so now let's get to the who. Who actually drives this thing? This part of the blueprint breaks down the human architecture of the system, the 7 layers of leadership. It's structured like a pyramid. Right at the top, you've got the vision leader, the person thinking 5-10 years down the road. Below them are the system builders, the ones creating the tools and training. Then you have community leaders who are nurturing the groups.
The network builders are the engines, out there expanding into new markets. Then you've got educators who teach newcomers the ropes, and a support team to solve problems. And at the very bottom, the foundation of it all is the new member. They are the lifeblood, bringing fresh energy into the whole system.
And this is where that structure becomes so incredibly powerful. You see this predictable cascading effect. It's not just random growth, it's designed. The formula here shows how just one solid leader can kick off a chain reaction that ripples down, turning into 10 builders, then 100 leaders, and eventually 10,000 members. This is how you scale an empire, predictably.
So, we've walked through the whole blueprint. We've seen the technology, the 5 pillars of strategy, and the 7 layers of people. And that brings us right back to the very first question, but now with all this context. Looking at this system, who are you?
This source material draws a really sharp line in the sand here. On one side, you have the system builder. This is the person creating culture, protecting the system, building for the long haul. On the other side, you have the hunter. The hunter thinks short-term. They steal people from other teams, they attack the system for their own gain, and they're always just chasing the next hot trend. For an empire to last, it needs builders, not hunters.
And it all comes together in this one final equation from Uncle Who. It's the whole shebang. You take the right people, you plug them into a working system, you guide them all with a shared vision, and you wrap it all in a strong culture. And what's the result? A network empire.
And so, we end right back where we started, but maybe with a totally new perspective. The question isn't just about what you want to do, it's about what you want to build. After seeing this entire blueprint, has it changed your answer? Do you want to be an economy builder, or are you happy just being a coin buyer? The choice, as they say, is yours.